COVID-19 by the numbers, brought to you by The Right Opinion. This is the current COVID-19 death rate in the United States, 5.615%. Sounds scary, right? It should. It's over 50 times more lethal than the seasonal flu. But I have some good news. The COVID-19 death rate, as currently calculated, is wrong. Very wrong. This number, 5.615%, is calculated based on two other numbers. The total deaths in the US, 47,734, divided by the total number of confirmed cases in the US, 850,078. So, what's the good news? Both of these numbers are wrong. Very wrong. This number is inflated. This number isn't even close. Here's the math. So, what do I mean by wrong? This number, 47,734 deaths, is inflated, like I mentioned. But how so? Well, according to the CDC, COVID-19 should be reported on the death certificate for all decedents where the disease caused or is assumed to have caused or contributed to death. Let's assume the CDC is erring on the side of caution. The death total is still definitely lower than what we've previously been told. By how much? We can't be sure, but knowing that that number of deaths is still less than reported, we'll still assume that number is correct for the sake of our calculations. But the current death rate is about to take a pounding. Again, this number, 850,078 cases, isn't even close. According to a Stanford study, the total number of COVID cases could be 50 to 85 times higher than reported. If this study is indicative of the population as a whole, well, this number becomes this number on the low end. Or this number on the high end. Let that sink in. Okay, that changes the death rate calculation drastically. This is the death rate, as I've shown you before, currently. But it becomes this death rate if you consider that there's 50 times more cases. Or this one if you assume 85 times more cases. So, we went from a death rate of 5.615%, 50 times more lethal than the flu, to a death rate ranging from 0.0661% to 0.1123%, comparable to, if not less lethal than the flu. And that assumes that every death counted as a COVID-19 death is accurate, which according to the CDC's own guidelines would be highly unlikely, being that they are assuming that these cases were caused by COVID. And we shut down the greatest economy in the history of the world for this? Now, let me be clear, the virus is not a hoax, and you should still take precautions if you're obese, immunocompromised, or 55 or older. I'm just saying it seems like we overreacted. It's definitely better to be safe than sorry, but right now, we're safe and we're sorry. 20% unemployment, 26.5 million jobs lost. It's time to reopen our country. It's time to make America great again. Again. This video was brought to you by Harrison Bergeron of the Right Opinion Podcast. Be sure to follow him on Twitter, on Instagram, on Parler, and on Minds at Right Opinion Pod. And for that matter, be sure to subscribe to the podcast at therightopinion.podbean.com or just search The Right Opinion on iTunes, Google Play, or Stitcher. There are two The Right Opinions out there. It's the one that's black and white and red all over, like newspapers used to be. We'll see you next time. Peace.